For today's video, we're going to go cover how I could write copy for a virtual CFO services company. In a previous video, what we did was we identified what their service offering was, what their value proposition is, what makes them unique, how they're able to have clear KPI dashboards, which is extremely helpful. We identified that we want to focus on software companies or really just any type of SMB. So what we did is we went to a database called Apollo.io. And to give an overview of the filters that we used, we wanted to only go after companies that are inside of the IT space, that are inside the internet space as well, computer software, biotechnology, nanotechnology, where their company and the actual contact are situated inside of the USA, where their employees size is between 1 and 20. Their email status is verified. They don't have any active CFOs right now. And then they also don't have any dedicated people on their finance team on LinkedIn. So let's go ahead and see exactly what type of company we could come up with. So initially, I want to get a little bit more inspiration. So I'm going to go to CFO services. Well, I should do fractional. CFO services USA. Okay. Let's go to CFO share. I don't want to go to a .org. Let's go to Lucrum Consulting. And let's go ahead and assess their website. CFO services, meet our fractional CFOs. I don't really like this website. It's too much about, hey, this is who we are. It's not necessarily about, hey, this is how we help you. I'm not a CRO, a conversion rate optimization specialist, but these are my 2 cents. What is a fractional CFO? Do you need fractional CFO services? Let's go to clients. Let me see some case studies. Let me leverage these. So let's go ahead and review this website. So initially, they're going after a discovery call. So that could be our CTA. How they work, they get strategic or financial insights. They have these beautiful mountains, which showcase success. They're talking about scaling up companies, business financing, cash flow problems. Okay, we could probably work with this. Profit improvement, growing companies, it's cash flow, profit and improvement. So the way that I would segment this list even further is if I go to Apollo, I can see fast growing companies or typically companies that are hiring through headcount. So if I go to the past 6 months over here, I see companies that are growing at least by 20% month over month. I now have a new segment, right? So I could go to, from the list of initially, I think it was like 70,000. I now have a very segmented list and I can use specific messaging for. So you're a fast growing company, you're concerned about cash flow problems as a CFO, and you might be wondering, saying, hey, I noticed that you don't have a dedicated finance person on your team. I noticed that you're also growing in the past 6 months by 20%. And a lot of this data comes from LinkedIn. I could essentially assume that on LinkedIn, it would have the same data. So you say something like, LinkedIn told me that you don't have a dedicated financial member on staff. And I also saw that you're growing your headcount steadily from the past 6 months. I'm wondering, what are you currently doing right now to keep your cash flow available as you continue to grow? If you're open to it, I could share you a one-pager of how we help company A, company B, free up cash flow, even despite being in a hyper growth stage. Let me know if that interests you. Cheers. Signature sign off. Something else that we could do is we talk about profit improvement. So let's just go ahead and write that first campaign. So what are some variables that we would be using for this segmented list? So case company would be this. Angle or segment would be fast growing companies without a dedicated financial staff member. It's a pretty good angle, if I have to say so myself. So let's go ahead and write this. Let's click some keys. My first name. A lot of the times what we could do whenever we're writing cold emails is we could use variables. We could say hi first name, and then it'll automatically place their name inside of these curly brackets. LinkedIn. I saw on LinkedIn that company name has been growing steadily over the past few months. After clicking into the company employees tab, I couldn't find a dedicated team member that leads your finance team. Assuming you're still planning to grow, you're in a similar stage that my clients were in, and then if they have case studies, we could just flip that, like their case study company names in here. Case study 1, my clients, case study 1, and case study 2 were in previously. They were growing, but their cash reserves were drying up. Would you be open to seeing a 45-second video of how we freed up their cash flow? I really hope that this is how you spell freed. I'm fluent in English, I promise. But it might be the Canadian English sometimes that's impacting my ability to write copy. Okay, so we open to seeing a 45-second video of how we freed up their cash flow. And what do we want that cash flow to allow them to do? So that is extremely powerful whenever we're writing copy, so that their growth was not limited by the of capital that they had access to. And so this is a V1 right now. I'm going to go do 2 other passes to try and make this way more concise, because initially this seems like it's a little bit tough to read. I could say sending first name, or sending account name, sending company name, and then we could add a PS line. PS. It could be like an AI summary of their website. I really like how you, and then we have an AI summary. Cool. So how many words is this? We're going to go to tools. We're going to go to word count, 113. Let's cut this down quite a bit. So what can we do? My first name. I also realized that I forgot the cash flow, or I forgot the subject line. Okay, subject line. Subject 2. cash flow question. I'm thinking right now. This is the thinking phase that I have. Cash flow question. Then we could just go with good old reliable quick question. Hi, first name. I saw on LinkedIn that company name has been growing steadily over the past few months. I'd give this maybe like a 6 out of 10. After clicking into the company's tab, I couldn't find a dedicated team member that leads your finance team. I think that we could probably combine these two sentences and make them a little bit more concise. Assuming you're still planning to grow, you're in a similar stage that my clients, case study 1 and case study 2, were in previously. And we can make this sentence a lot more concise as well. Would you be open to seeing a 45-second video of how we free up the cash flow so that their growth was not limited by the amount of capital that they had access to? So if we're able to consolidate these sentences into 3 lines, make them more concise, I think that we are onto something. So let's write this. Went on company names, LinkedIn page, and was surprised that you didn't have a dedicated team member on your team. And then we normalize this a bit. LinkedIn isn't accurate all the time. I've done company names, LinkedIn page. I was surprised that you didn't have a dedicated team member on your team. You say it isn't accurate all the time. Couldn't help but notice your team has been growing steadily and was curious if cash flow was becoming a bottleneck that's impacting future growth. I have a case study that goes over how case study 1, case study 2 were able to go to we're going to go use something called the desired state here. So these would be the outcome or the outcomes of the case study that would interest the prospect to read the case study or to view the video that they send, that they're able to resist it. So for example, this could be example, grow without financial constraints, without taking on any, we don't want to say loans and cold emails, any external financing. Even then, financing is it's a spam word, but it's less spammy than a loan. We could delete this. Grow cash flow without taking on any external financing. Without firing team members or taking on external financing. Would you want to check out the video? Would you want me to send over a 45-second video that explains this? Okay, now I think that this is a tad bit shorter. What do we have here? So tools, we were at 114 before, now we're at 107. But then again, we have I think that we can still make this shorter. Let's do it. So went down company's LinkedIn page. We went down company's LinkedIn and was surprised that you didn't have a dedicated team member. Didn't have a dedicated team member who manages finance. We cut this just for the sake of being brief. After growing headcount, I was curious if cash flows become a bottleneck. He helped case study 1 today too. Grow cash flow without firing team members or take on external capital. This is looking more concise. Good job, Connor. There we go. Tools word 82. So hi, first name, went on company's LinkedIn and was surprised you didn't have a dedicated team member who manages finance. After growing headcount, I was curious if cash flow was becoming a bottleneck. Reaching out from sending company name, we helped case study 1, case study 2 grow cash flow without firing team members or taking on external financing. Would you want me to send over a 45-second video that explains how we did this? So what did they do? Let's go see exactly what they offer. Buy our cash flow maximizing system. I don't want to use the word cash flow. That's a little bit spammy as well. So how do they do this? What's the unique USP, a unique selling proposition that they were able to implement into this company to free up cash flow? So grow cash flow with firing team members or taking on external financing. By implementing our 3-step, do they have a name for the system? Unlock strategic achieve. I almost want to say like our unique USA system. For the sake of example, we're going to go give it a name with our 3-step USA system. By implementing our 3-step USA system, would you want me to send over a 45-second? Would you want me to send over a 45-second overview video of this? This is going to be slightly longer. Word count 75. Okay, now we're cooking. This is slightly a little bit long over here. I think that there could be some reader drop off, but let's try to think again. So reaching out from sending company name, we help case study 1 and case study 2 grow cash flow without firing team members or taking on any external financing by implementing 3-step USA system. Would you want me to send over a 45-second overview video? Or do you want me to send over a 45-second video of this? I'm going to say that's just CTA 1. And for CTA 2, what we could do is say, if you were looking for a second pair of eyes, which can potentially free up growth, cash flow for growth. If we can, I'm thinking now, this is behind the scenes, guys. if we'd be able to take 15 minutes and identify 2 to 3 ways to free up cash flow, do you think that would be worth the time? If we'd be able to take 15 minutes out of cash flow, or company name, do you think that would be worth the time? It's a little bit of a longer CTA. I'm not the biggest fan, but I think it could work. So this is how I would go about writing copy for a company. What we're looking at is, or just to recap what we covered today, is we started with a list of 70,000. We want to segment it down because typically whenever companies are growing quickly, let's just say they grew their headcount by 20% in the last 6 months by minimum, they'll typically have cash flow issues. So what we did is we wrote an email that says, hey, I went on your link on company's LinkedIn and was surprised that you didn't have a dedicated team member who manages finance. After growing headcount, I was curious if the cash flow was becoming a bottleneck. Reaching out from company name, and for this example, it is CFO Center. Let's go back to the Google Docs. We help case study 1 and case study 2 grow cash flow, firing team members, or taking on any external financing by implementing our 3-step USA system. CTA 1. Would you want me to send over a 45-second video of this? CTA 2. If we'd be able to take 15 minutes and identify 2 to 3 ways to free up cash flow for the company name, just remove this comma. For company name, do you think that would be worth the time? Sending account name, just take out this hyphen here. Sending company name. P.S. I really like how you insert an AI summary. So this is how I would go about writing copy for a financial firm. Again, this is for an example only. We went to Apollo, we scraped leads, we wrote copy, and then the only thing that would be left to do is spin text the copy, upload it into your email sequencer, and then see what responses does the market have waiting for us. So if you like this video, feel free to comment below and then subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.